Okay, good morning, everybody. It's been a long time playing some more of the Monastery Mentor Unearth deck. This is an older brew. We used to play. I can't remember when I started to play this deck. It was like, I think it was before the last trophy race, maybe in the middle, maybe in the middle of the last one. But the general idea here is that Monastery Mentor is very, very strong when paired with Unearth. When you get to Unearth your Monastery Mentor, you get to put this card into play, and then you have a lot of mana to immediately trigger the card. And it's also true that just casting a Monastery Mentor is a lot better in a deck with 4 copies of Unearth, because then if they kill it, you just kind of set up for a turn where you get to Unearth and go off. And this deck actually used to play Lurrus in the main deck, because it was actually pretty good just to have a card advantage engine with your Baubles to Unearth as well. And so I was kind of stuck for a while on what to replace the Lurruses with, and I ended up moving the Sideboard Lingering Souls plan to the main deck, which is very good against the Ragavan deck specifically, and it also just generally makes your Faithful Mendings consider Scours better, gives you a secondary backup beatdown plan. But I was playtesting the deck last night, was feeling definitely pretty solid. Made a couple changes to the mana. I'm playing Fulminator Mage on the sideboard to hedge against the big mana deck some. Fleece with the 9 months, Sirius with the 4 months. We also have a deck tech to do, right? From Silken. Grasp of Darkness. That one's -4/-4, right? Yeah, that card might be the best. It obviously misses some things, but not very much. And it does feel like it kills the important stuff. Kills Mayhem Devil, specifically. Suspends a Rift Bolt, okay. In that case, let's just play a tap land. Grass is definitely harder to cast a black instead of 1 black. I mean, you're a mono black deck with, if maybe 3 or 4 colorless lands in the deck. I think it's pretty castable. But Heartless Act, what does it miss? It misses Thing in the Ice is a pretty big one. I'm sure there's actually several cards it misses. I feel like that's one of those cards that you get kind of surprised at how much it misses. I think I'm not countering Rift Bolt here since I am kind of weak to Eidolon if I do. I know they didn't have it last turn, but I don't have a referral code for any of the lending sites. I do have one for Channel Fireball though, and for NordVPN, it's code Spike for both of those. But thank you for asking. Yeah, just gonna continue to play tap lands for now. Okay, hoping for no Skullcrack. Thoughts on building Vampires in Pioneer? I mean, I've played a lot of Pioneer, and Vampires has always been one of those decks that has felt... What do the kids say? Mid? I think they call decks like Vampires pretty mid. And I don't have great ideas on how to improve it, but... It's never been an archetype that I've been super fond of. Gonna cast 1 Consider now, can maybe find Bauble. Can hold the Counterspell up otherwise, obviously. I could counter this. I could also just cast 2 cantrips. Kind of like just casting 2 cantrips. In this spot, you want to cast Thought Scour before Consider, because you want to cast the cantrip that gives you no decisions before the cantrip that does give you decisions. So you get to make a better informed decision on your Surveil with the Consider. Good habit to get into. Maybe we can just kill them here. Skewer me down to 2. Remember that you can ending your own mentor without losing a permanent, but still getting a prowess trigger. Okay, so this is 9, 13 damage. Am I just a little short? I can go... One prowess trigger is obviously 12 plus 5. 12 plus 5 is 17. Counter my own ending? I can't counter my own ending. I don't have another basic island. Yeah, I can't. I can't play another land this turn. I can't play a land this turn. Putting my opponent to 1 is really good though against the 2 Sunbait Canyons. I think putting them to 1 with Force Up is better than holding up Counterspell Force. It's like double. This is double Stone Rain. Thunder every time in the chat. No. Yeah, but I think double Stone Raining them is better than holding up 2 Counterspells here. Dude, I love this deck. This deck is a treat. It's a treat. Mending in the yard. Mending is 3 to flashback. But yeah, Thunder and Espoke always. No. Okay. Gonna bring in the endings and the pushes, cut the souls. I played this matchup last night and I won with this sideboard plan, so we're gonna win again. It's a pretty interesting hand on the draw against Burn. Tom has the gifted sub, thank you. I like that we have a Seachrome Coast against Burn. I like that we have 3 looks at our second land, and we have an ending for a turn 1 creature. I think, and we have a Mending to gain life. I think this is a keep. Put a mold to 6 in the play. Don't you think that being Unearth a sorcery to remain Snapcaster, you would have more synergy with discard spells than counters? I think that in general the cantrips play pretty poorly with discard spells. They play a lot better with counter spells, play more so at instant speed, and the cantrips are really important to, I think, make the entire deck function too. Okay, love drawing second coast here. And also, like, Unearth is a sorcery, but it's a 1 mana sorcery, right? It's like 1 mana sorceries are not like huge tension. I guess I'll just counter this. 1 mana sorceries are not huge tension with instants. Like, you just like play your 1 mana sorcery, then you have all your mana to do whatever else you want. So spins a Rift Bolt. I think I'm gonna main phase the Mending. It's obviously bad if they have Skullcrack, but being able to hit my land drop here is a pretty big game. Alright, they have Skullcrack and it's bad, but we hit and it's a big game. Discard, I think Mentor, discard Mending. I'm gonna save the Bauble for the Mentor trigger next turn. It's a bit weird, we just did the Blood without Counterspells, it's intentional. Yeah, I know. I played the basic planes before. Blood Moon is also like at an all-time low in Modern, you know what I mean? Blood Moon is very near, if not at an all-time low of Modern. I know we did just play against it against the Rhinos deck. A lot of Rhinos players are even cutting the Blood Moons, and yeah, I am okay losing to it. Yeah, Magus the Moon isn't. You have other answers to Magus. I don't know. Yeah, this is something that this is a point we've been hammering home a lot lately. I think we need to continue to hammer it home. Like, I think it's a big trap to fall into, to just like want to have outs to everything. I need to have outs to everything. I can't, be cold to anything. But like, if you play a basic plains in this deck, you are still weak to Blood Moon. 1 basic plains in this deck does not give you much equity against Blood Moon. It makes your overall mana base worse, and this, and you still have counter magic for Blood Moon too. It's, just lose to it. You never lost to Blood Moon before? I think I'm Mending now. Yeah, I know that Plains lets you Prismatic the Blood Moon, but it's like, you have to fetch an island, you have to fetch a Plains before the Blood Moon comes down, and you just don't get to do that often. You get to do it sometimes, for sure, but it's just like you gain some percentage points, but it's just not that much, and I think just like knowing that you're colder to Blood Moon is fine. It's totally fine. Do you think there's a disparity between the paper meta and online meta? I mean, there is no super defined paper meta game. The paper meta game is like very region based. It's very much not defined. But yeah, you could ending there. It's fine. I think it's like a little nitpicky. You have to tap out like the next turn, which is probably fine. Okay, let's keep this. I think I'll put back an Unearth. Is Vindicate pointless? I wouldn't say Vindicate's pointless in Modern. I have an urge to cast that card. I have an urge to cast it. Okay, so we were talking about this archetype a little bit lately. Dan, did you donate for this yesterday too? Let me double check. Yeah, okay. So these look like the updates we suggested. I think this looks very clean. I don't think I like the Surge Hacker mech though. Yeah, I think I would probably just play like maybe 3rd Chariot, 4th Bankbuster, or or I would probably play 23rd Land. 23rd Land, 4th Bankbuster, actually. 23rd Land seems pretty... is probably where I'd be, the more I'm thinking about it. Even with the 4 Elves, like, you're a Childless Tracker deck, and you have a lot of mana sinks, you have a lot of 4-drops. I want at least the 23rd Land. So if this is Murktide like it looks like, the Lingering Souls are going to be very good. And that 23rd Land I think would be the Fabled Passage. And then... liking the sideboard, I would probably play 4 Gust and cut the Circuit Benders, where Gust like also gives you more equity against burn, but it's, also gives you more equity against the ever-important Winota matchup. And just generally being a blue-green deck, like being able to interact with permanents with Gust is kind of at a premium. Yeah. Good list. Hope good luck on your testing too. Do we snap block? No, I don't think so. Probably just gonna cast the Mending. We've got the souls to discard to it. Then here, I think we ending. Probably not counterspelling, a counterspell on the ending. Probably just flashbacking souls no matter what. Okay, iteration. Yeah, 4 Lingering Souls. Especially like this version main decking to 4 copies, I'm probably feeling somewhat good about this matchup. I think I'll go ahead and just Thought Scour on my turn here. See if I find a land drop. Do you find a Lingering Souls? Just gonna pass with the counterspell up, and then I'll probably pretty seriously consider cycling on Earth end of turn if I don't need to use the counterspell. I could have left back a Souls for a Dashed Ragavan. They don't have it, and I think that I will cycle. It's kind of close. It's obviously bad if I draw a Mentor, but I think cycling's fine. I want to hit my land drop pretty badly, which we do. And then I think we're just attacking, playing a Fountain tapped, and then either flashing back Mending or snapping back Consider if we don't need to use the counterspell. Spike, why can't I win a game on MTGO? Am I just bad? You might just be bad, but the good news is that if you're bad, you can improve. You can always improve. If you're losing games of Magic, it usually comes down to one of 3 categories. Your deck selection is bad, you are making misplays, or some type of bad variance is happening. It's pretty rare, I think, for a loss to not fall into one of those 3 categories. So, I think trying to isolate, identify which one of those factors, or perhaps it's a combination of those factors, but figuring out what's going on and what you can do about it is going to be your solution. think I like playing Snapcaster. I'm worried about them going Murktide with Counterspell up next turn, so maybe making them use a Counterspell here is good. And I will definitely say that there is no shame in being bad at Magic. Everybody starts off bad. It's like what you do from that point, you know? What you do from that point that actually defines how good or bad you are, in my opinion. I started bad and stayed bad. Which is fine. No, can't stay with those. Might be guys a one of. I think 4 Unearths is a good number. If Mentor didn't get exiled, I would more seriously consider it. The 5 mana flashback is also so much, you know. So like milling it over incidentally is not that good. Yeah, it's also okay to be bad if you're like enjoying your time spent, of course. Like, not everybody needs to be like, you know, Paulo Vito Dama de Rosa. No bad with the 10 months, appreciate ya. Okay, so I think they're gonna get to resolve a Murktide here. 6/6 Murktide. Can sometimes outmaneuver a big Murktide with Lingering Souls, sometimes can't. Spell Pierce would hurt here, okay. Counterspell doesn't hurt as bad. Okay. I think I'm just casting Lingering Souls here. I think it's really likely my mentor is just dying to a removal spell here. So if I go cast Consider and then my opponent kills Mentor in response and I just don't find anything that I wanted to cast off the Consider, I waste all this mana. Yeah. So I think it's better to just cast the Souls. And I might just take 6 and then hit them for 4 flashback Souls, jump with 1. Oh, they're not attacking. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so now I think I just go for Snap on Earth. Okay, I think it's correct to try to see if we find a counterspell off Consider. I will graveyard that for a little bit of value. And we did find Counterspell. And we did find Counterspell. Ah, that is brutal to get Spell Pierced at this turn. Do I sacrifice this Monk token for 4 damage? I think yes. I do. Do you think Magic is closer to a heuristic game like poker or rule-based game like chess? I mean, it's like a combination of both. I'd say I don't know which one it's closer to because I'm big dumb and haven't studied game design. I guess we're dead to Lightning Bolt Murktide this turn. Oh, that would be devastating. The Exile Islet with the Heat or the Iteration. No attacks. Okay. Let's see if these Lingering Souls resolve. Obviously holding the land in hand for the Mending. It's actually closest to Wii Sports Resort 2. That's a good comment. So my opponent have like the millionth counterspell? No, they have 0 counterspells left. Oh, sorry, this is their... Sorry, I was looking at the wrong Exile. They have 2 counterspells left. And Charms, too, probably. I bet my opponent has Archmage's Charm, and like, is it better to counter? Is it better to steal? I think it's a little bit better to steal, right? Because they steal here. Block, block, take 3. I think we still jam. Why do we get these horrible spirit tokens? We have no choice, unfortunately. There's not a way to change your token art, right? There's not like some weird setting that nobody knows about. Yeah, main deck isn't Snapcaster time. But yeah, Lingering Souls is great against Murktide. Lingering Souls is great against this deck. I think I've seen 3 so far, yeah. So they need to deal with 2 tokens this turn. It's not very likely that they can. Alt F4, wow. Nobody Alt F4, please. Don't get got. Okay, can bring in the pass, the Teferis. Push is better than ending in this matchup too. I got the forces, probably trim. 4th ending, 2 mendings. Counterspell or a Thought Scour, probably a Thought Scour. We're playing Fulminator Mage in the sideboard for Titan and Tron, big mana matchups. And they're good here because you can unearth them. Watery Mending isn't a core part of the deck. Not so much in this matchup, to be honest. Like, this matchup's going to go longer. Your mentors are going to die more often. Like, Mending is pretty important, like, game 1, where you get to, like, set up for a turn 3, unearth, and, like, go off. But in this matchup, it's not going to come up that often. It is card disadvantage if you're not discarding souls, and it's maybe even debatably card disadvantage then still. So, I think that Mending is, you know, a card you want to trim on. Still want a couple copies, probably. But it's not like this is a, like, hard reanimator deck where Mending is, like, the most important card by a lot. This is a really weird hand. We're on the draw, we have a cantrip, we have a 1-lander, I think I'm gonna mulligan. Purelo, thank you for the 9 months, appreciate ya. Another 1-lander on the draw. I might keep this, though. I really don't want to have to go to... 5. I think I'll put back Path. It's kind of close between that and Unearth, but this is maybe a hand that cycles on Unearth. Unearth is also, like, good if we can mill over a Mentor with the Thought Scour, too. Strategy. I didn't used to run 4 Souls main deck. They used to just be a sideboard plan. I used to have Luris main deck in this deck, which is kind of funny to say. But they're actually, like, I don't think there is another good value creature to reanimate in Esper. I looked at every single modern legal Esper 3-drop last night, and I think it's just better to be, like, all in on the Snap Mentors and have, like, the Lingering Souls, which, you know, obviously have value to discard and, you know, aren't terrible here. Raging Captain Crying and Core. Yeah, I mean, that just has high deck building restrictions we can't meet. Is Sideboard Witch 2 lost in the sauce? I think so. Like, it doesn't get triggered off Bauble. Pest tokens are, like, not nearly as good as Monk tokens. Like, a Monk token is a threat. Like, a Monk token is a real threat. A Pest token is just kind of a pest. It's just not... It's very aptly named. It's just so easy to ignore a Pest token. But you have to deal with a Monk token. I have cast Sedgemoor Witch in Modern. I just never really think it gets there. Unfortunately, as admittedly cool as the card is. Oh no, why couldn't the Mentor have been just 1 card deeper? So, ending this turn is really bad against a Murktide. I think I'm just okay being kind of bad against Murktide here. And then next turn we get to go Mentor, have it die, but then we get to set up for Unearth Mentor turns. Is this deck playable without Force of Negation? It is. You can play Spell Pierce instead, probably. Would Graveyard Trespasser be worth including? This is kind of like an easy trap to fall into, where you start to play like a lot of 1 format, and you see that Graveyard Trespasser is great in Pioneer, and you're like, let's try it in Modern. But I don't think the card's that good in Modern. I could be wrong. Trespasser also doesn't provide you any card advantage when you unearth it, which is, I think, a big problem for a deck like this. Trespasser is maybe like a good sideboard card, like that. You could play that as like if you like felt like you needed some graveyard hate. Okay. If they're gonna, they've got 2 mana up. They're really likely to interact with me here. If they're gonna interact with something, I want it to be a mentor. Spell Pierce acceptable as a in Rhinos as a better replacement for Force. Only if you're playing against Doomwake. If you're probably joking, but if you're not joking, you can't play it because you cascade into it. If I try brewing a salvaging and other shells with rebound trigger being rather good. I mean, it's only really good with like specifically Arc-like Phoenix and Dimulich, right? Like I don't know what else it's good with. So they've got a Murktide. I've got a Teferi though. I think Lord Xander will be an Esper animator option. I don't know what that card is. I don't know that I care to know. Which one is Lord Xander? I gotta learn every new card. Oh, that's the Grixis vampire. Yeah, that card's not seeing it. It's also like a legend. I guess I know you can Glorious Vengeance it, but that's probably one that does not get there. So the hand is Murktide, 2 mystery cards. They declined to play a 3/3 Murktide. I was really hoping to draw a land this turn. I love that we have 2, or I love that we have another Unearth in our hand here. I think I'm counterspelling. Does give them Delirium. Then it's Ragavan, Murktide, 2 mystery cards. I don't think I can block. There's a new Thragtusk. I'm gonna post it in chat. I have seen the Tamashi deck. I think the deck's really good. Workshop Warchief. 5 mana, 5/3 trample. ETB gain 3 life. When it dies, make a 4/4 Rhino token. Wait, Blitz. This is a EDH card, right? Blitz is EDH. Like, is that the mechanic where you create a copy and you like attack with all the copies or something? Maybe I'm. Yeah. What does Blitz do? Blitz is not EDH. No. Okay. Okay. So this is not EDH card. Okay. Well, I guess then that's the $100 question. What does Blitz do? They're just Unearth Mentor Path? I guess so. Blitz is like dash except you sack it and draw a card in a turn. That's right. Okay. That's kind of an interesting mechanic. 6 mana is kind of a lot though. So for 6 mana, obviously not only evaluated there, but you gain 3 life, you draw a card, you make a 4/4, and it has haste, trample. Not too bad. So we're dead to Bolt, because they get Delirium here, and they get to attack for 3. They put a card on top, which is bad. This card's cool. Probably will see some play in Pioneer, if I had to guess. But Exile's Fury. So if they have Fury pitch Ragavan, if they have a second Ragavan in their hand, we're dead, or any other red card. I don't have a basic planes to fetch. And they had Bolt too. Okay. Game 3. About Rapid Hyperbolization in Pioneer. I mean, that card is pretty bad. You might, if you know, it's pretty good when you start to read the card, right? You start to read the card. It says destroy target creature. Like what? 1 mana in blue, and then you keep reading the card, and it actually gives them a 3/3. It actually gives them a 3/3. Reservoir Kraken, 4 mana, 6/6 trample, ward 2. Love it. Is there a downside or is this an upside? At the beginning of each combat, if Reservoir Kraken is untapped, any opponent may tap Untap creature they control. If they do, tap it and make a 1/1 fish with this creature can't be blocked. Love it. Going right in the EDH deck. That's what just done for. Titan, Urza Saga matchups in general. You can also bring them against tribal decks, but any Urza Saga deck and Titan. Okay, keep this, I guess. Oh, here he comes. Watch out, Spike. They've got a monkey. We actually had this push the whole time. Probably should have played the fetch land to hold push up, though. Did I see the double striking raccoon? It sounds made up. It sounds made up. The Uncommon Court of Calling Legends Gasoline. Yeah, that card seems pretty interesting with Asmo. I'm a little afraid of going once again. Finally, food is a good deck in Modern, but there's now a 3-mana 3/1 it's 3 mana Naya colors 3/1 X, and then when ETBs, you can search a creature with mana value X or less and put it into play. You can get a Dryad Arbor for 0. It's kind of interesting. I don't know how good it is, but it's definitely interesting. Like, great to get Asmo, but then, like, you're a Naya Asmo deck, and that doesn't sound that good. 7 mana Toski. Get out of here. It was better to hold up Mending. I think it's probably fine to just cast some souls here. According to data, 4-color pie has 0 unfavorable matchups. From the SCG Dallas. I don't agree that 4-color Omnath has 0 unfavorable matchups. I actually feel like the metagame just like still has it corrected where people are playing more Titan, playing I guess they are playing more Cascade. Like Rhinos I think is favored against the Omnath deck. People aren't playing more Burn. The 4-color Omnath deck is also annoying, though. It's obnoxious as hell. 4-color Crush Burn at Dallas? Yeah, I'm sure if it beat it at Dallas, that's fine. But, you know, it also does have a historically unfavorable matchup against them. Like, that's just, you know, still true. I think, right? Yeah, Tamashii combo, Belcher, Oops All Spells are all decks that are good against the Omnath deck, and, you know, people just do seem kind of unwilling to play it. Although it's possible that, like, a lot of decks that beat Omnath lose to Murktide. That could maybe be, like, a big problem we're seeing. But then, like, Murktide also loses really hard to Omnath. Yeah, I guess that's maybe the case, is, like, the decks that are good against Omnath are weak to Murktide, for the most part. I mean, that's obviously like why I like the Lotus Field deck, is because you're like favored against 4-color, you're a little favored against Murktide, just not by tons and tons, but by enough to like the matchup. Okay, I think pretty easy path plus souls. Tamashii versus Disciple of the Vault. Have I cracked it? Maybe. I also think that, you know, people do hyperanalyze the paper tournaments a bit much when, like, you know, not that I did great at this tournament, but I do think the paper tournaments are still a bit softer than the Magic Online. I definitely had a lot of opponents like I had a Jund opponent who just like on turn 2 besaged my land. Because they baubled me and they saw I had a Teferi hero on top, but they had also thought seized me, and they knew that they should have known that I was nowhere near casting the Teferi. Like I was dead if they didn't, like I was on a mold of 5, I had like 3 lands, and they just besaged my land to shuffle it away when I was like super dead if they just let me draw the Teferi or did anything else on turn 2. And I didn't have any other opponents make plays that were quite that bad. I played against a lot of good opponents too. But I do feel like these paper events, like, you usually have like one moment like that where someone just makes an egregious mistake that would basically never happen against an online opponent. So I think you see a lot of people hyper-analyze the paper tournaments because they're more fun and people love the paper tournaments, but I do generally feel like they are less competitive for whatever that's worth, as someone who's played a lot of both. The commentator argument was burn was hate meta. Second I picked, you argue that Dallas isn't burn heavy. I mean, I do still argue that. I think that, like I don't know that the MTG melee data was very good, because I just kind of like, I accidentally clicked John to control and like I didn't get to unpick anything. Maybe that's just me. I'm the only one in the room that did that. But as someone who's played in Dallas for like almost 10 years now and has played many paper tournaments at Dallas, in my experience, it's not like burn is not usually this heavy. Like, burn was a good choice for this weekend specifically. And so, like, I think people recognize that and chose it, but like, I do think that the amount of heaviness for burn is just overstated. You know what I mean? Sorry, I know I'm mumbling and stumbling over my words a bunch. My glasses, I couldn't find them. Did I get anyone with rolls this weekend? I was pretty lenient. I let somebody take something back. I can't remember what it was. It was like something that, like, I think that I know my Titan opponent. I had Bloodsun in play, and they tried to get Cavern of Souls when I had Bloodsun in play, and I told them that they can't name anything with Cavern when Bloodsun enters, but they can take it back if they want to. But I was also, like, you know, super ahead. What was my 2 losses to before round 8? Blue-white control and 4-color Omnath. I also beat both matchups once. Oh, sorry, no, I lost to Omnath in round 8. I lost to Yawgmoth in blue-white control. But it's also, like, you know, I guess it's just kind of something that happens with the Jeskai deck. Like, both of my losses against the blue-white deck, the match that I lost, I just could not find man number 4 after mulligans. And that's also, like, what happened in games 2 and 3, or 1 and 3 with the Omnath matchup. And, you know, you lose those. You lose those. 2 cards in their hand. I played the Jeskai Lotus Field deck. The 4-color player against who barely Yu-Gi-Oh! Shuffled the deck. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know Honorog told me there was something weird going on with the shuffling. I don't know. I'm not trying to start a witch hunt, but someone told me my last round opponents was shuffling weird. And, like, but they're also, like, they had a double-sleeved Yorion deck, so I don't really think there was anything fishy going on. I think they just, like, had never shuffled a Yorion deck in paper, was my read. People are just, like, so quick to witch hunts, but I didn't really feel like anything fishy was going on. Okay, need to find something. This could be something. So I have 1 Prismatic Ending left and 1 Fatal Push left. But I also have a Path to Exile, so I should tap the Watery Grave. Attack with the Monk token, I guess. They chump block, wow. So I think I'm chumping the Murktide if they attack with it. Okay, just take 3. It's a great draw. No! Oh, no. Okay, they put 2 lands into their graveyard. Attack with the team, they take 2 down to 4. They attack with their 2 channelers. We jump block here. Yeah, just do anything. Okay, so big question here, do I kill a channeler or not? I think I kind of have to. The tournament was pretty fast. I didn't think there were too many matches that went super long. I think it was pretty well run. I think you jump one. I don't think so. Maybe. I just like I can't alpha strike. Did you tap Steam Vents? That's a big clump of lands for them. So here I can go snap on Earth, path. Obviously they might have a counterspell, but we're going for it obviously too. Oh, where's my path? Sorry, I guess I already snapped it back. Sorry. I meant opt. Couldn't or consider. Final answer. We can keep this, and if we can trigger prowess again, we actually have a chump block, or make the Murktide chump block. Okay. So just passing again. Okay. And 10 through 3 months, appreciate ya. Glad you liking the stream. Unearth Mentor. I kind of think I like this more. Just keep the ball rolling a bit. Yeah, and then here I think we attack. They block a Snapcaster Mage. Or maybe unearthing pre-combat's better to... Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Oh, I know. Sorry, I'm so dumb. Yeah, this is a huge punt. We can try to get lucky. Obviously, I just needed to trigger prowess pre-combat and have counterspell up, and I easily win. But now I need to find an answer to the Murktide. I don't know how I forgot. This game's gone on so long, but I forgot that they just have lethal in the crackback. Yeah, I think it's kind of close to the decision between consider and... Sorry, chat. It's really close to the decision between consider and scour. Consider lets me find... Gives me 2 looks at the Teferi. Thought Scour gives me an extra look at Lingering Souls. Cycle. I think it's better to just like try to find Lingering Souls, Path to Exile, Teferi, Time Raveler, off of the or Mending off the Consider. So I think it's better to consider because we get the extra look at the spell. But this was obviously just dumb, and obviously I get I just have it all. Sorry. I just totally forgot they had lethal on the crackback. We've been on the offensive for so long. Like I want them to have the counterspell. Okay, embarrassing, but we're 2-1. That happened to me once at a Legacy GP. I was playing Miracles against Merfolk, and like I stabilized, and I think we played like literally 15 turns. Like my opponent got me to 2 life. We played literally 15 turns where my opponent doesn't attack a single time. I'm super ahead, and I just forget I'm at 2, and I fetch, and I go to my life pad. I'm like, go to 1, and I just totally forgot I was at 2. And like I think that like a lot of people like have this weird attitude where they like really defend paper, but it's just because like paper is fun. Paper is more fun than Magic Online, absolutely, but that doesn't mean it's more competitive. Like there's just like really no like I don't think there's like any reason to think that paper Magic is more competitive than Magic Online. That people just kind of like they just want it to be, and they just kind of like like to argue. Devin with the 18 months, appreciate you. Seems like a counterspell to me. Well, Moto automatically stacks certain triggers, reminds you of things you might forget about. I mean, yeah, that is part of why it's more competitive, because there's like less missed triggers and stuff. But you also have a on average more casual player base. I kind of like snap ending the Shadow Spear, and then if I can maybe chump and like unearth the snap. Maybe it's better to just consider. It's kind of close. Great graveyard that. Flashback the souls. It's like there are tons of people who are like no longer paper grinders, no longer like really enfranchised, but they still play paper tournaments when they're in their area, right? And then they like just copy a deck list or play what their friends tell them to play, and they're out of practice and they're just like not paper grinding like they used to be. I think there's probably lots of people in this chat who meet that qualification, and I think there's probably a lot of people that a lot of people who are like that. But on Magic Online, for the most part, like you have people who are playing every single day, you have people who are really well practiced, you have people who are trying to play more competitively too, on average. And yeah. You know what I mean? It's obviously not an exhaustive thing, but it is just how these things tend to skew. Okay, so they're gonna get another hammer. We'll see if they main phase the hammer or not. Oh, they get a Cauldron. Dude, the Cauldron. How is the Cauldron this good? How is the Cauldron this good here? That's awesome. Okay, let's graveyard that. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I think I attack. Yeah, we need an ending. Yeah, what is Jewel Thief? People are talking about this card. Got kind of hot in here too. I think I'm gonna change out of the jacket. I think a band control list using Nightpack Anguish can playable Pioneer. I mean, there's just like billions of 4-drops in blue control decks in Pioneer. I do think Nightpack Ambusher is playable, yes, but I don't think it's like a very like, you know, it doesn't seem like it really differentiates itself from the pack very much. There's just, again, billions of good 4-drops in Pioneer. Sorry, I don't know. I'm still planning to change. Let me just take this turn and pass. Okay. There's a land on top that I really don't want to draw, so I think we just go snap, consider. And there's no chance we unearth anything this turn, but I guess there's no chance we need double white anyways, so. Be right back. Okay. Draw off the Bauble. Draken, thank you for the 8 months. Happy to see more Mono Black. Mono Black deck and Pioneer prep today too. Let's see what happens. What is this? It's a Torres Envoy. 4 mana, 5/4 trample, blitz, and we don't know what the rest of the text is. Oh, you guys see the Naya? The Naya, it's just Naya, 4 mana, 4/4 haste. You guys see that card? I love that card. Oh, sorry, 4 mana, 4/4 mana. It's haste, trample, life, haste, lifelink, trample. Yeah, haste, lifelink, trample. I love that card. I think I have to counterspell this because otherwise they can Stoneforge activate. Let's graveyard that. Can unearth it. Then we need to gain life. If we brick here, can take 1 more hit. Awesome! Finally found it. Discarding 2 lands or Lingering Souls land. I kind of like Lingering Souls land, Flashback Souls. Attack with the team. Hope for no pure steel paladin, obviously. I think you played this game well. Yeah, it's a 4 mana trample lifelink haste for a 4 mana 4/4. I love that card. I don't know why I love that card. I hate, like, I think a lot of people could make the same argument that I make for the Void Rend. That's just kind of boring. It is kind of boring, but something about it. The card feels very elegant to me. Well, okay. I mean, my opponent's draw was pretty absurd, I guess. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Concede, I think, is what we're gonna do. Patch up? I don't think I've seen patch up. Okay, uncommon. Return up to 3 target creature cards with total mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So I think ideally you're returning 3 1-drops with this. Is Ingersoul's really bad in this matchup? It's not great. It can be good. It's bad against like Mentor's, I think, much better. It's bad against Esper Sentinel. It's bad against Shadow Spear, but it can be okay. It's not like, I don't think I would describe it as like completely unplayable or anything. Isn't patch just a worse proc rebirth? Well, it's like, no, it's a proclamation of rebirth, but it costs 3 mana instead of 6. But you don't. Oh wait, oh no, proc rebirth is. No, you're right. You're right. It is just worse. If I'm remembering how that card works correctly. I don't think you want to Unmarked Grave in this deck. Okay, Blacksmith Skill is a really good card to know about. So I guess I do need to ending this now. Or are you playing Path too much Murktide? I mean, there's a, like, yeah, it's for Murktide. That's like that matchup you want it for. You can also bring in Ending's Hammer, and you could play a different option if you wanted to. Yeah, Unmarked Grave is not good for souls. Unmarked Grave is not a good card to get Lingering Souls. That is a really, it's not powerful. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely the turn to snap, ending the Sigarda's Aid. Well, they don't have Blacksmith Skill or Relic up. Maybe it's better to get the Relic and just say, I don't think you have Land Hammer, but I think it's just a bit too likely they have Land Hammer. Yeah, don't play Agadeem's Awakening in your Prismatic Ending Counterspell Faithful Mending deck. And when the upside of Agadeem's Awakening is spending 6 mana to return Monastery Mentor. 3 of which are black, and you only have 3 black lands in the deck besides your Agadeem's Awakening. Okay, they don't have another land, thankfully. I'm gonna save this land to discard to Mending potentially. I should have attacked, sorry. Yeah, Agadeem's Awakening is very much not a good addition. It's okay, we can talk about it. Is it traditional Esper control type gifts and given rights package? Alternate wings not gone too slow for modern. I've played it in the past. It's you know, I think it just is generally not as good as other options. We know they have Blacksmith Skill. Vodka, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate you. Or are you playing Path? It's a sideboard card for Murktide, and you also bring in an against Hammer. I know that, you know, I'm not a big defender of Path to Exile. But I do think it's fine. It's just 2 in the sideboard. Is Mentor the only Bauble synergy? Yeah, but Bauble's really good with Mentor. Maybe I should have gotten Watery Grave there, actually, so I could draw Push or Path. Still, my life total probably doesn't matter that much. Just gonna leave this out, or ending or push. I did draw the ending. It is kind of interesting. I guess I'm dead to a hammer anyways. If I exile the Ornithopter, I'm not dead to a Stoneforge Mystic, but I'm probably not beating a Stoneforge Mystic anyway, so I should probably exile the hammer. And then I think we just discard the 2 lands. Yeah, people have asked about Sedgemoor Witch. I think that card is not very good. Like the pest tokens are just not that powerful. But you could potentially play. You could potentially play it. They really have. I was like, do they really have Blacksmith Skill as the last card? Pops the Relic. Oh, if they had popped the Relic, we were just dead. But nobody ever pops Relic, so we were actually for sure safe the whole time. So I have 1 path, 2 push in the deck, so probably better to leave the Watery Grave up. But it's wait till after damage, you don't get hit for 2 more. Oh, on the path? Yeah, I guess so, because we knew they had the skill. Yeah. Then we could potentially take another Ornithopter hit. So they're drawing a Pure Steel Paladin, so we chose right on our ending target. It was a pretty easy choice, though, probably. We chose wrong on which land to leave untapped, but it was just, you know, twice as likely to draw a push than a path here. I think we're likely to be okay. They cast the Paladin. They didn't have a hammer last turn, they drew Paladin this turn, so I'd be kind of shocked if they had something. Just lead on the Mending here. And now we can take a hit from a non-infect creature. See my path blocker. They block here. Not close to dead. Just hold up this path to exile. Hope to get them next turn. They're gonna have to draw like these have to already have a protection spell in hand, which they could, and draw a hammer, or cantrip the hammer into another hammer. I guess second hammer doesn't do it, right? Because if they put the first hammer on the Nexus, we path this. Second hammer on the Ornithopter just puts me to 2. Are you running all 8 ops? I'm playing 4 Thought Scour, 4 Consider. I don't think I opt doesn't put cards in the graveyard. Bauble's also like fine with Thought Scour. Yeah, I did beat Melania. The names in Elden Ring are pretty pretty brutal. I think we should be good here. Yeah, I can remember Mikola. So if we attack here, we are presenting lethal without casting the path. Yeah, I think Melania probably took me like 20-ish tries or something. I think the hardest boss for me was the falling star beast in the cave, but apparently it got nerfed. I beat it pre-nerf, and I also beat it. I was also like pretty under-leveled when I fought it. I was like level like 40 or 50, I think. Maybe that's not under-leveled, but I felt under-leveled. It would just keep like one-shotting me. No, I'm not humble bragging on Melania. I also summoned my Mimic, so I don't feel like a lot of pride. I kind of wish that I hadn't, but I was also like, I just really wanted to beat the game and move on. I think I'll probably I'll try to do my second playthrough no summons. No, my Mimic did get nerfed. I got the Mimic post nerf. at least. Yeah, I did beat pre-nerf Radon with no summons. I am proud of that. But that one took me many tries. I don't know how many. So obviously hoping to just push the Sentinel here. Yeah, I have heard of the legends. Let me solo her. Okay, this is fine. Kind of surprised they're just playing like into the push here. Was it not better to push until turn 1, leave Counterspell turn 2? No. I don't think so. I usually just prefer to wait. Here, I think I'm going to play Snapcaster, target push, offer the block. If they hammer, we'll just push. If not, we'll hold up the push. And then if they don't play another creature, we'll cast a cantrip. Although here, I think I just counterspell. Well, yeah, if I counterspell and they hammer the Sentinel, I think that's okay. We'll just take 11, then snap push. They would also, that's also like a super 6 start if they have second hammer here. Might actually be good to snap. No, not good to snap push now. It does play around Blacksmith skill, but we get to play around Blacksmith skill just by blocking, and they have a Nexus in play, obviously. If they have a hammer, we take 13. Didn't have a hammer last turn. I'll just cycle to consider here. I can also chump block still. Can't we dress down once it resolves? Well, they draw a card if we do that. They're top decking pretty hard. I think I'm very interested personally in not letting them draw. I think this turn I'm going to play Mentor. If they fire up the Nexus, we can dress down to stop ourselves from dying to Nexus. Has anyone suggested Of One Mind? People have suggested it. Like, the thing about cards like Of One Mind, though, is like Of One Mind is literally only good when you already have. So I'm gonna dress down so they can't use their Paladin. Of One Mind is only good when you have a Mentor in play and you've already triggered it once. And the fact that it's really weak outside of that exact scenario means I think you just don't want it, because any cantrip's gonna be good in that situation anyways. Definitely a tense spot here. Gotta find something off of our selection. I think I will pay for the Sentinel. It's kind of close, to be honest, if we pay or not. Okay, so do we just snap push the Paladin, attack? Hope they haven't found a hammer, or do I try to snap push the Inkmoth Nexus? I think it's probably better to try to snap push the Inkmoth. Let me attack first. Because like they have to like animate the Nexus, and then spend another mana to give it flying again. So it's like this, it's very mana intensive for them. They're shocking, so they definitely have a blue card in their hand. Yeah, we lose. We lose to Spell Pierce. Do they have a second hammer? They didn't attack with the Inkmoth. What's happening right now? I think I'm supposed to try to go for the kill, so I'm gonna Mending, which gives me a higher chance of making a second token end of turn, which is I think my priority. Draw their card. Alright, second token. And I think we path the Paladin because it's the blocker. Oh, yeah, just animated for Metalcraft, I see. Still, though. Yeah, so I think we just go snap, push. Push and path are exactly the same. There's like nothing that path beats that push doesn't beat, I think. You don't have revolts? I don't need revolts, right? It's a 2-drop. Suno with the 2-pack. Assume that's for deck tech. Assuming you can't play fetch as my black when you place a push or something. I'd probably play 4 Thirst, 2 push. Or maybe March of Otherworldly Light over push. Well, that was an awesome match. We are 3-0. We're 3-0. Okay, let's keep this. Sideboard looks pretty standard. I think this is also like a good first draft, I'll say. I think it's a good first draft. The Fairies for the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. When was the last time I was on Red Black Rock? A couple weeks. I do think I like the Red Black Rock deck. It's been a while since I played it. Hammer time again. Is this the same opponent? No. Yeah, 3 minutes of Fairy is very banned in Pioneer. Am I liking Pioneer more than Modern? I think I like Modern more still. I'm liking both, you know. They're different. It's kind of like, you know, I might like Sushi more than anything. I might like Modern more than anything, but I'm really enjoying Pioneer. If I have a Mentor on top, I'm gonna really regret tapping my Watery Grave here. But now I think I'm gonna hold the Bauble to play, you know, Mentor Bauble next turn. Maybe a series of chump blockers would be good this game. Yeah, good luck, Suna. Cool list for sure too. You play Paper Modern. Is the shuffling overwhelming? I mean, not for me, because I used to be a paper grinder for a long time. I've played, you know, thousands of lifetime Paper Modern matches, legacy matches. But it's you know, it's different for sure. They have the turn 2 kill. They definitely have it. Turn 2, baby. Dead. Shoot. Okay, we lost game 1 to Hammer last time. Then we won both sideboard games. I do like our sideboard plan. Cut the souls, cut the force, cut the 4th counterspell. Or maybe I should cut the 4th mending. I'll cut the 4th mending. That might be what I did last time too. Any chance we get some Legacy Ants content? Deck's been sweet recently. I mean, I never want the stream to be, you know, me just like picking up a format I'm not familiar with. You know, a lot of people really wanted me to stream like my first like testing leagues in Pioneer, but I think I feel pretty comfortable saying at this point I'm really happy I took the time to test off stream. I think that the Pioneer content has been a lot more engaging and interesting than me just saying I don't know to every question and me like fumbling around more so than I was off stream. Yeah, if you would post a link in chat, Nom, I'll take a look. Isn't Soul Strong versus Hammer Time? It's bad against Esper Sentinel, and it's bad against Shadow Spear, and it can line up well against them, but it's not like we have any like particularly bad card we're playing over the souls either. And so I think that translates to Legacy too. As much as I would love to just play some Ants, I haven't played the format in a long time. I don't know what my list would look like. I would just have to do it off stream. Nihir the Harbinger is my favorite planeswalker. I am not of the opinion that you should be playing it, though. I just don't think it's that strong. Wait, what did you cut? How did you make room for Nihiri, Emrakul, Chandra, main deck Anger of the Gods, main deck Weretear, main deck Trepanation Blade? Oh, you've shuffled your sideboard into your main deck. I see. Okay, so this is easy. You've given me the 75 cards. Now I just need to put 15 of them in the sideboard. Yeah, if you want to resubmit it with the sideboard accurate, we can redo this. I was like, how did you make room? Remember you playing Amp before? It's easy with that Ragnar format. I believe it. It's just like I'm not saying no. I'm just saying it would just take a lot of work. And I'm just working on a lot of other stuff right now. I guess we keep this and then go ending the Sentinel, then Mentor Bauble on turn 3. Be pretty happy if they go for like a token game plan here. Grab a Nettle Cyst. I think that the Mentor can beat this game plan. Hoping at least. Yeah. Oh, wait, what? Okay. This is fine. You forgot to delete the sideboard cards from the main deck, but I can kind of work around it. So the Deflecting Palm, the Anger, the 3 Weretears, the Batterskull are all on the side. I mean, I like the Batterskull of the main deck. I think it's okay to cut it. But I do think the Batterskull is like very important for the Dredge matchup. I think it's, very important for the Burn matchups. And just generally not bad. So the Maguses are the sideboard. I'd like that a lot. That's what I was doing last time I was playing the deck. I like the Maguses in the sideboard a lot. I think that's where they should be for now. I think that you should play Silence over Deflecting Palm. So, like, Deflecting Palm is like good against Hammer Time, Belcher, but Belcher is nowhere to be found. Belcher is like gone. And so I also cut the Trepidation Blade just because Belcher is like pretty dead at the moment. I don't think it's very reasonable to prepare for that matchup. I think you're just almost never going to run into it right now. So I end up cutting that for the sideboard and the Palms, playing 3 Silences. And I don't think I like the Planeswalker plan that much, to be honest with you. I was playing 4 main. I think March is better than Ending in Boros. So I was playing 4 main deck Marches over the what you're playing in the Planeswalkers. But I think the Planeswalkers just like awkward on your curve, awkward on your game plan, not that powerful. I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, I did play the deck recently. Well, I was playing other cards too. Hold on. I have infinite Stoneblade lists. Okay, I was playing 1 Wandering Emperor, which I even think is a better Planeswalker than Chandra. I just don't think that, as much as I love Nihiri Emrakul, it's just not that good. And I'm playing 1 Batterskull, which I like. Playing 2 Giver of Runes, Lower Curve, 4 March, 1 Wandering Emperor. I was liking this list. You can find the whole thing in the Stream Decker. So I think I'm going to Bauble myself on their turn, and I can maybe go like Snap Consider, mill a card away if it's like a Mentor on top I want to mill, or if it's another card I don't want to draw. The Silence makes sense in Burn sideboard. Maybe I need to get more sleep. No, Silence is great in the Burn sideboard. When I was playing a lot of Burn earlier this year, and I was playing Silence is way better against the Cascade decks in my opinion, than Rolling Vortex, where like my experience playing Burn was I would like 4-1 many leagues, losing only to like Living Into Rhinos because my opponents would just tank the 5 damage from the Rolling Vortex, and then I would die to their Cascade. And I started to play Silence, and I started to win those matchups a lot more. And I'll also say, basically every Burn player told me that Rolling Vortex was amazing against them, and I never felt that to be true. They also always have the Besage You, they have Brazen Borrower, they have Foundation Breaker as ways to get rid of your Rolling Vortex as well, which I always also found to be awkward. Okay, definitely just gonna draw the Thought Scour. So I also think if you're playing Burn, you should play 4 Magus of the Moon in the sideboard. We were talking about this earlier, but Burn, like the attitude of Burn players right now is Burn's pretty well positioned, but you have to dodge the Titan matchup. Burn is pretty well positioned, but the Titan matchup is so bad. And I'm just like, what if we just like played sideboard cards for Titan? What if we just played Magus of the Moon, huh? Is that crazy? What if you just like put a sideboard card in for your bad matchup? Hope we find a Bauble here, but we've already found 2, so not very likely. Keep this for next turn. I think we just send in. They can eat my Mentor, or they can trade with my Mentor or eat a token. I think either outcome's fine. Yeah, this is the better outcome because we have the Unearth. Wouldn't Magus frequently be too slow as Burn? Magus of the Moon is the best sideboard card against Titan. Magus of the Moon is not too... You cast that card on turn 3 against Titan, on the play and the draw, it's usually good enough, you know? It is the best sideboard card you can possibly play. There's not a better option. You know, you won't win literally every single time you draw it, but it is the best option. I think about splashing green for Reverie. There's like, I don't think that like there's almost any enchantments you care that much about, so I'm not a big fan. Mostly just unearthing here is like 1 mana prowess, but is Tunnel Ingus worth in the Burn deck? Just play the best. Just play Magus. It's just like Tunnel Ingus is like they can sometimes just play through it. They can tank the damage. Special FC is pretty good. I think it's okay. I beat it last night when I was playtesting. We just beat it last round, but we lost both game 1s today. Burn players running Tunnel Ingus. Let me reread Tunnel Ingus. This deals them 2 damage when they play an extra land on the turn, right? Because I feel like they could just tank it. Land enters the battlefield. The player has landed by buff for the crow. Deals 3 damage. Okay, that is better. That is better. I think I still would play Magus. I think I would still play Magus. That being said, you should probably playtest both, see which is better. I'm not 100% sure Magus is better than Ingus. I thought Ingus was only 2 damage. Also that being said, either way, you should be playing sideboard cards for Titan. I think that like Burn players for too long have had the attitude like I'm pretty well positioned against a lot of decks in the metagame, but oh boy, I just can't beat Titan. You can also bring in Magus against Tron, but Tron's obviously, you know, one of your better matchups. I guess I'm keeping this. I don't like it. We're on a mull to 6 on the draw against Hammer. I think that mulling to 5 is horrible. And we can just try to draw a removal spell and be okay. But, not feeling great. Why Magus over Blood Moon? Besage You is why. You cannot Besage You a Magus. You can Besage You a Blood Moon. Alright, just gonna pass the mana up here. Could maybe just try to counter the Hammer if they cast it. I think they're likely to play this slower though. So we counter this, they cast the hammer. If we don't counter this, they cast the hammer. As soon as we tap out, they draw a card. Could Scour in response. Hope they play around push, or hope we draw push. Okay, we did mill over a Mentor. It's kind of nice. There'll be updated Burns deck guide on CP soon. Maybe, yeah. I'm taking this week off from CFB. I have some personal stuff I'm doing. But I can put that on my to-do list. Yeah, our handle's pretty bad. Did improve once we hit the Mentor, though. Trying to think, do I want to Scour, or do I want to save the Scour to trigger the Mentor? I think I'm going to Scour. Why no Thought? I mean, I'm going to wait, but I could hold it again to trigger the Mentor. I am going to cast it. There's no reason they cast it after they've cast the hammer. I can't draw anything. Wasn't counting the hammer just in play instead of Scour. The problem is if I leave up Counterspell, they don't cast the hammer, and then I waste the 2 mana. So my plan was to just cast Scour and hope to either draw Fatal Push, or hope that my opponent plays around Fatal Push. And now my hope is that they can't find a Shadow Spear, and that we can ride this Mentor to victory. Spike, don't you also say some decks need to accept their bad matchups, not sideboard for them? I mean, there's, yes, some not, I don't actually say that, right? I don't know, like, I think that, like, it's okay accepting that you're called to hate cards, is usually what I say. Like, accepting if your deck's weak to Blood Moon, or Rest in Peace, like, just, like, you can play sideboard for some, you know, accepting losing to decks is fine, but sideboarding for them is also, like, I do usually recommend it. I don't recommend just losing to everything, but I think understand, like, you're going to lose to some stuff, and I think every deck needs to make a conscious decision about what you are choosing to lose to. Dude, they tried to ending my Mentor. They can't do that. It's got a mana value 3. I'm kind of muttering and stumbling over my words like I always do, but every deck has bad matchups. Figuring out what your bad matchups are and what you can do against them and what you can't do against them is an important process. But I don't think I've ever recommended just not sideboarding for your bad matchups. Unless your bad matchup is just not a popular deck, then I guess I would recommend that. But Titan is a popular deck. At least popular enough. Yeah, I think they thought Colorless worked. Yeah. Paper players are actually the better players the whole time, it turned out. You've said if you're putting 5-6 cards for matchup and losing, you should play 0, make other matchups better. Yeah, sure, I've said that. But playing 4 Magus, you're playing 4 Magus of the Moon, not 5 or 6, and you're not losing. If you play Magus of the Moon as your sideboard card and burn, you've turned your worst matchup into an actually pretty good matchup. Or, like, I would say that you're all of a sudden a favorite to win if you play 4 Magus in your sideboard. And so I do say yes, if you are dedicating 5 or 6 sideboard cards and still unfavorable, or 3 or 4 sideboard cards and you're still not favored, then that's probably a waste of space. But I do believe that if you spend 4 slots and turn your worst matchup into a favorable matchup, those are well spent sideboard slots. So I'm going to path the Stoneforge. Pay for the Sentinel. Lots of Revelry burn. I think we started talking about this, but if you could name me enchantments that you really care about revelrying, and like maybe Urza Saga is probably that enchantment. But for the most part, I feel like you want Smash the Smithereens instead, because it deals 1 more damage. You mostly care about killing artifacts, and it does make you splash a color. And Smash is good against Saga too. So I don't think Leyline of Sanctity is that popular. Like that's usually like the main card, but like, what are there decks that are popular and play Leyline of Sanctity right now? There might be, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Living End. Yeah, I guess that's probably a good enough reason. Lightning Man, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate you. Somebody let everyone know in chat. Yes, your pet card is busted, and Secret Spice can win the Pro Tour. Hell yeah! Thank you for letting us know, and thank you for the resub. So I need to find a removal spell. If I find a removal spell, I'm attacking for tons. I get to go Snap, Unearth, Consider, and then I have a lot of looks at a push, path, or ending here. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle that away. Getting Godless Shrine so I can cast Push or Path. Unearth Snapcaster Mage. Matthew Cabin, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate you. I think I'm all in on this. I was more likely to hit before I missed on the Bauble, obviously. I still have 2 more looks at a push, path, or ending. I have 4 endings, 2 push, 1 path. Is the White Hammer good? It's putting up a lot of results. I think that there's never a best way to build the Hammer Time deck, but it seems pretty reasonable. Okay, I missed. What happens if I attack? They block the Mentor. They gain 12 to 27. They take 17. Can I survive on blocks? I think I can if they have nothing, but they're gonna have some stuff. Oh, yeah, that's right. I do get the Bauble draw. That to Nexus? Yeah, that to Nexus if I don't draw anything. Yeah. And they also have, I'm not conceding, so they might not go for it. They're probably gonna go for it though. I mean, I'm not even like, if I'm having to block with 7 toughness here, I'm still losing. Inkmoth loses flying, but they can activate it again to give it flying again. Although my opponent didn't know how the Prismatic Ending thing works, so maybe they don't know how this works. It looks like they know how it works. Yeah. Okay, tough stuff. Fall to 3-1. Still a pretty good showing though. This is like we ended up having like a pretty good draw after an awkward mulligan, with like turn 3 reanimate Mentor double trigger. See if we can 4-1. Okay, I think I'm gonna lead on Island here. I might get Godless Shrine with the Flooded Strand. It's also obviously maybe just Strand because I've got Counterspell. We'll see. Interesting. So probably playing against Yawgmoth. I think I will keep that land. I kind of like holding up Counterspell this turn, and then next turn I get to play... I can 2-drop this turn, and next turn I can Ending 2-drop. Or if I use Ending here, I'm just not using my mana nearly as efficiently. So I can either Counterspell or Ending, and then untap and, yeah, again. 2-drop effectively. Okay, I think I will fight over... Well, maybe I should save this for Blood Moon. It's probably better. What type of strategies let's struggle against? Seems like big mana might be tough. We do have 4 Fulminators in the sideboard, 4 big mana. I think it's usually worse against 4-color Omnath, has been historically the matchup I've struggled in. Spike Ghost. I'm not going to play at Basic Plains. You'll never be able to fetch Basic Plains. It doesn't matter. Nobody's playing Blood Moon. Blood Moon is at an all-time low. Was it better to kill Sprawl over Bird because of Arbor Elf? Bird's a blocker. They don't have Elf in play. Maybe it's better. Okay, we're gonna bring in the 4th Force of Negation. I just cut the souls, just be all in a Mentor. Teferi's usually pretty good against them too. Fulminator is really bad against Ponza. They usually get all basics, and They are winning the land destruction mirror match. Destructotron with the daily 5-pack. This is getting a lot, Destructo. Gotta get this sub from Destructo, make sure to thank him. How do you have a non-multiple 5 play points? They used to give non-multiple 5s back in the day, a long time ago. And you're kind of stuck with it. I could maybe have, no, I need to counter the pillage. I need to counter it. Yeah, you can email WotC to, like, round down for you, which is, I don't know, I feel like this is the mark of the OG. I don't have very many play points. I've been dropping, I'm running dangerously low, actually. I've been dropping a lot, brewing off stream. I'll be fine, I think. Okay, let's keep this. You see Andrew Ellenbogen's tweet about the Pillars of Modern? I did see it. I ended up not wholeheartedly agreeing. I thought that was an okay tweet. String well for future deck decks deal. Okay. What are we doing here? I kind of like just Teferi Plus. I know killing the bird is a priority, but like I'm okay against Pillage, and Teferi can bounce the Blood Moon, which is not always nice. Well, I guess I don't have a way to answer it if it comes back down again. Maybe bounce it again. Also stop Steep, Bloodbraid Elf Cascade. Was there a reason I didn't play either Black Channel Land or Black Castle? You don't have enough like swamps for the Black Castle to enter on tap consistently, and I think the Black Channel Land is not that good. And no. I thought we were safe. Never safe from the Blood Moon, I guess. They've got 2 cards. If somehow they can't deal damage to Teferi, we can get out of this, potentially. Okay. Next week to Blood Moon, what can I say? What can I say? Sorry, believers. Thoughts on Ponza Girl mid-range in general? I think it's very difficult to build, and it's very weak to... it's weak. I think it's weak to Hammer, and it's weak to Cascade, and it's weak to Omnath. But I want to be at Plains now.